we're going to talk about something that sounds extremely simple, but is actually quite powerful, and a little bit of times it's challenging and tough. Okay, the art of letting go. Not ignoring problems, not being irresponsible, but actually releasing the mental grip on things that are draining our energy and stealing our peace. Okay, so I want to start with a really honest question, and you can answer to me in the chat box. How many of you feel like you're carrying something right now? Okay, not necessarily something visible, but something mental, something emotional. A raise of hand or maybe some thumbs ups would do, or like me in the chat box. Like you can even respond to me with like a me, like yeah, I always feel that. Yeah. Anybody else? Me, yeah, I agree. In fact, I do too. I do too. All of us do, yeah, absolutely. And how many of the times, maybe it's like a project that didn't go perfectly, or something somebody said that you keep replaying in your head, or just this general weight of everything around you. Yeah. Always, definitely. So, if that's you, you can see in the responses that you are not alone. A lot of us, everybody feels this way. In fact, you're in a really good position right now because this is something is that I see literally everywhere in all the organizations that we work with, from healthcare professionals to corporate teams to maritime workers, everyone. We're all carrying more than we should probably need to, right? By the end of this session, you're going to have some real practical tools that you can use starting tomorrow. Does that sound good to everybody? Yes? So let's jump in. Okay, now I want to start with a quick poll. It's nothing related to the topic. It's just a simple icebreaker activity that we can see on the screen. So let's move on to the next slide. All right. Okay. So if this year were a movie, what genre would it be for you? Okay. Like I said, not related to the topic at all, but a quick question to get each other acquainted with all of us, right? So I want to know you better. If this year were a movie for you, what genre would it be? Would it be comedy? Would it be thriller? Would it be drama? Would it be action? Or would it be like a documentary, like a lot happened? Right? Horror, okay. Comedy, drama, okay. Thriller, okay. Okay. Drama again, comedy and thriller, okay. All right. If somebody wants to give an example of a movie that you resonate with, you can do that too, okay. All right, drama. If I had to sum it up, I would just say a combination of everything, right? Because this year was exactly like that. Right. Thank you for sharing that, everybody. So now that we are acquainted with each other, I think we can now then share a little bit more. And now that the rapport is built already, we can jump into the next question that we have for you. Okay. On the next slide. If you can see, moving on, you can imagine if you were to carry a backpack you carry every day at work. Okay, in the chat box type one thing that you want to remove from your bag today. Okay, and we are going to practice to do that today. So think about it. Okay, overthinking, fear of conflict, micromanagement pressure, email guilt, and it doesn't even have to be anything from the options. All right, you can share it with us. These are just examples that we have. A lot of people are saying overthinking, so many people are saying overthinking, right? And it generally and genuinely affects us. Micromanagement pressure, uncertainty about the future, yes, definitely, that's something also which can weigh a lot of weigh a lot of heaviness in our chest, in our shoulders. We feel that phone, okay. Definitely, especially. So, good option. Okay, so this actually summarizes what we are going to talk about in today's session. Very well put, everybody. Phone, overthinking, uncertainty, maybe fear, micromanagement pressure. All right, so we're going to just now see what this means. So, thank you for sharing that, everybody, with me. This exercise, this helps you imagine and create something, and we have identified our issue right now. So that's the first thing and the first step towards making progress, right? So now if in and the fact that you can name it, it means you're already halfway there to releasing it. Now all we have to do is strategize ourselves to understand and keep our mind going in a direction to growth. All right, now let's see some things that we are facing about the invisible mental load. Okay, what is email guilt? Yes, good question. Email guilt means that, for example, if somebody has mailed you, you are off your working hours, you are home, all that, and then suddenly there's an important email that you feel like you have to respond to right now. You're there with your family, you're there with your friends, you still feel the need, okay, it's very important. And the guilt seeps in so deeply that a lot of times it affects your sleep, it affects your appetite, it affects your whole well being, right? So that's what email guilt means. Okay, so coming back to the topic, there's a lot of invisible mental load going on. Okay, and I call it the invisible mental load because nobody can see it. Okay, all of these things people might not be able to see it, right? Yes, okay, somebody said I feel the same way. Absolutely. Maybe your manager doesn't see it, maybe your partner doesn't see it, maybe your kids don't see it, right? But you feel it every day. These are typically four big areas which are eating into the mental space. Number one, mental overload. This is the constant juggling things like tasks, decisions, reminders. Your brain is literally running out of browsers. Just like I think Nishad in the very beginning said, what is the one thing that you want to close, right? And exactly like that. If you come the first thing in your morning, you see those little tabs, about 45, 50 tabs open on your screen, computer. Your computer is going to crash. If it keeps happening regularly, it's going to burn out. Similarly, we, being human beings, if we have a lot of tabs open in our mind, it definitely will reflect into and it will manifest itself in being in the way where you will definitely feel the burnout. Okay, you will have to let go of a couple of things. So you are mentally overloaded, it means. Okay, if you feel this way, meaning you have constant things that you have to look up to. Okay, 200 decisions, so many things. For example, I have a client, let's call her Priya, okay, who's a project manager. She told me that, Sakshi, by 2 p.m. I have made 200 decisions and I still have the half day left. Think about it. Imagine how overwhelming that can be. Till half day, she has made about 200 decisions and she still feels she's feeling exhausted. She has a lot of mental overload. The next thing is digital fatigue. Okay, what does digital fatigue mean? Exactly, somebody in the chat box said phone, right? This is back to back screens. First, you have to reply to the endless messages from people, maybe clients, maybe co-workers, maybe important messages from family. Okay, then this means that your phone is not shutting off. First you wake up, you see your phone, you go to office, you see your laptop, again a screen, then you come back home, you're watching TV. There's no time in between break for us to take a little bit time for ourselves. It's endless screen time. Okay, maybe your phone buzzes at 8 p.m. with a message that you're suddenly again you're back on. Okay, third thing is performance pressure. Feeling like you have to always be on, you always have to deliver. And not just at work, even at home, constantly tending to other people's needs, right? Does that feel for you? Like, do you feel that you constantly have this performance pressure, not just at work, but at home too? Do you all feel that way? Anybody feeling a yes, no, maybe? In the chat box, can I hear some responses? Yeah, because I do too. Okay, first you have to go to office, finish the work there, come again home, do some more work. It can become overwhelming. It can take a tap, it can be very taxing on you, right? The next thing that I particularly see is evolving expectations, evolving personal or professional expectations, which means it's about managing roles, a little bit similar to performance pressure. You have to keep adapting to the constant change that is happening and trying to balance it, right? This all together are something that is something that we called as the invisible load that we are facing. Okay, now To understand your personal load, I would ask you a quick question in the poll and try to participate with me, okay? We're going to show you some questions and you can just answer in the chat box. What option do you resonate the most with? Is everybody ready to do that? Let's jump into the next slide. So I can see everybody is ready to do it with me. Okay? All right. So moving on to the next slide. What has been the biggest source of mental load this year? For you, answer in the chat box for me which option do you resonate the most with? What has been the biggest source of your mental load this year? Okay, a lot of people are saying A, B, B, B. Okay, work, work, work. Okay, all right. The pressure to be on at work. Okay, A and B both. All right, so workload, people, and relationships. Nobody is saying C, running on empty. There is a C. Okay, I just saw a C. But a majority of people are saying A and B. Okay, let's see the next one. Which area do you find the hardest to manage day to day? Deadlines, responsibility, performance pressure, which is A. B. Managing emotions, conversations, other people's expectations. C. Screen time, messages, information overload. Okay, multiple answers A, B, C, A, B, C. Okay, remember what you're answering, okay? Whatever you're answering to, just remember the option numbers. You don't have to score anything, but just remember what you have answered to me. Let's go to the next slide. Because we have a scoring and interpretation in the end of what this tells about you. Alright? Yes. Okay. Alright. Okay, somebody said, can you show the previous one? Can we please go to the previous slide and then jump to the next one? The previous one was, which area do you find the hardest to manage day to day? Then go to the next one. When you feel stressed, what usually triggers it first? Can I see some responses? Okay, A, B, C. Okay, somebody's saying all of the above. Somebody is saying none of the above. It could feel that way too. You can say none of the above as well. Okay, let's move on to the next one. What makes it hardest for you to feel mentally light? Overcommitment or too many tasks? People related stress or emotional fatigue? Lack of boundaries with devices or digital? All right, many responses. A, B, C, A, B, C. I feel like I'm playing KBC. All right, let's go to the next one. So, answer is, if you have answered mostly A's, okay, that means task and performance load. You're primarily stressed by responsibilities, deadlines, and output pressure. Okay? That means that you're constantly on. You are stressed. You have many tabs open, the way we just spoke about, right? Mostly B's. If have answered to many questions as option B, that means people and emotional load. That means relationships, communications, emotional expectations are very much on you, and you feel like you have to constantly tend to that particular thing and manage expectations. Okay? C. If you answer mostly C's, that means digital and information overload. Just giving you a simple example, the minute you open Instagram, there are so many confusing reels. Some reels show, oh, your partner is so nice. So they do this, they do that. So there is automatically a checklist. Okay. Some reels say, oh, they are not so good, they do this. So green flag, red flags. Our brain is confused. It has so much information with us, right? So we are constantly having the screen notifications, constant connectivity, and they are main drainers of you. Okay, so whoever is answered mostly A, B, or C, this is your score interpretation. Have a look. Now, understand the area where you have to work out. We identified the issue, the one thing that you have to really work on, right? Again, we have also identified the area and the theme of what you have to work on. This is your current status and what you are feeling right now. Now, let's jump on to understanding what is this mental load. So what we have understood, now we have to understand how to unload this mental load, okay, this invisible mental load. This is called as a guided visualization. All right. We're going to do our interactive activity. And first, I want you to take a moment, if you can. When you can just close your eyes or maybe look away, look into nothingness, just maybe a wall in front of you. Or the best part is just to close your eyes. Okay. So close your eyes, okay, from the screen for a second and just hear me out. Okay. Just hear what I'm saying. Take a breath. You have been processing a lot of information in the last few minutes, and I want you to ground a little bit. Okay? I'm going to ask you three things. You can think about it, and then later in the chat box, you can answer. But right now, I just want you to think about what's going on in your mind right now. Now, moving on, we can see the three things are: one, work habit that you have to release. So close your eyes and think about that one work habit that you can release. What's that one habit at work that is not serving you well? Maybe it's checking email the first thing in the morning. Maybe it's saying yes to every request. Maybe it's working through lunch, not having enough time to take a break. Maybe it's staying late when you don't need to. What's that one habit that's stopping you and that you have to stop doing? That one habit that if you let go of this particular habit will make you feel lighter. So one habit at work. Let's move on to the screen. Next slide. What's that one limiting thought pattern? Meaning that one thought that keeps to running in your loop in your head that's actually not true, but you believe it anyway. For example, if I'm not constantly visible, I'll be forgotten. Or if something is not perfect, it's failure. Or if I say no, people will think I'm not committed enough. What's that one thought that's keeping you stuck? Think about it. I now want you to think about that one unrealistic expectation. One thing that you expect from yourself that's actually kind of unrealistic. Maybe you expect to never make a mistake. Is there any human being in this world on the face of the earth who has never made a mistake? All of us do. Yes? Maybe you expect to handle everything alone. Maybe you expect to be perfect at a skill, at a new skill immediately right now. You want quick answers. Okay? Now, in the chat box, share with me what all have you named for each of these things. Maybe one habit at work can be overthinking about every little thing. Maybe one limiting thought pattern can be restricting myself from taking risks. That means that I am not jumping into new opportunities because I'm scared. Or one that unrealistic expectation, meaning I have to finish everything today itself or in this week. I know it's tough, but I have to. Putting that unrealistic constraint on ourselves. Okay, somebody answered it as overthinking, self doubts, inferiority complex. Yeah, they can be tough ones, especially in a combination, right? Doubting ourselves to know, okay, I'm not capable enough, or, you know, I'm not enough like other people. So maybe that comparison might come in. Anybody else who can share with me? Even if you don't want to, it's fine. It's for your personal reflection. Delaying lunch, not visible enough means not perfect. Receive appreciation for work, all work. Yeah. Yes. So you have identified right now. Okay. You have identified what are the areas that you have to work on. Okay. While you just put it in the chat box, it's automatically enough because you've already kept it down. Okay. You've put it down. Your thoughts are now out and you understand them. It's very brave and courageous enough to already share that with a lot of people, let alone with yourself. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that, everybody. Okay, somebody said overthinking about every other thing, doubting myself for everything, considering it's inhuman to do mistakes at work. Okay, that's a lot of pressure that you're putting on yourself, right? Like I said, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, but it's not fair because you have to be kind to your own self as well, right? So that's why. Now keep these thoughts with you, okay? Because we are going to do it in a procedure in a step-by-step manner. Okay? Now, before we go deeper, there's something that I want to clarify to you because this is important. A lot of people here letting go, you're not caring about your work, just ignoring problems, you're being passive, but that's not what we are talking about. Okay? We want to understand letting go, that means unloading it, meaning delegating things which are not needed, closing those unnecessary tabs right now. Okay? So we'll come to it. Now, let's go to the next slide. Right. So, like I told you, some strategies that we have to keep in mind. Keep that previous activity in mind because we'll come to it. Okay. Now, let's understand the first activity that we have right now. So, this is an interesting theory which is called as the circle of control and circle of control, concern and circle of influence. As you can see on the screen, the first circle is called as the circle of concern. It means there are some things that are there which you cannot control at all. That means political conditions, weather, war situations, other people's expectations of us, violence, school shootings, all that. Okay? All of this is under outside our concern. It's not in my control. So it's in the concern area. Okay? Second circle is the circle of influence, which means these are certain things which I'm into 50-50. 50% other people are responsible for, and not other people also per se, but like 50% which is not in my control and 50% which it is in my control. It means like work relationships, like you have a colleague. If there is a fight, just the way that we say that the claps, the tali ek haath se nahi bajti types, that means that if there's something that there is a conflict between the two people, meaning it's happened from both the sides, so you can try to resolve it, but the other person also has to take active participation. Similarly, family relationships, school relationships, behavior with people, all of this comes under the circle of influence, meaning you can only contribute up to a certain level over there. Okay, the next is circle of control. Okay, what does that mean? Things which are fully under your control. Your self-care practices, your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, how you want to respond to other people, all of that. It comes under circle of control, which means there are things which you can totally influence, meaning these things are under your control. Now, understanding these three things is important. Why? Because what other people think of me, let me just take one example right here. It means that, yeah, receiving appreciation for the work, right? Now, what does that mean? I am going to go and do this. Okay, can anybody tell me receiving appreciation for work comes under which circle? Can anybody share with me in the chat box? Does it come under circle of concern? Does it come under circle of influence or control? Which circle? Absolutely correct. It comes under influence. Perfect. I love y'all. It's a very good audience, very interactive, and you're listening to me, so I'm very happy, right? It does come under circle of influence. Reason being, here you can put in some effort, okay, but getting the appreciation for it or not is not under your control. That's up to the company and up to your management. If they want to appreciate your work that you have put in, they will. If they not, then it's okay too, because you have done your part. Okay, circle of influence. Overthinking. Which circle does it come into? Because we're going to do a detailed activity about it later. Yes, it comes under COC. It comes under circle of control. Definitely. Now that we have understood, we have to apply this to our day-to-day scenario, just like we did with the other conditions, other situations that I gave you. I'm going to now do an activity with you in the next slide, which means I'm going to show you a couple of statements and you have to tell me if it is coming under circle of control or circle of concern. First question. My reactions, attitudes, and emotional regulation. Does this come under circle of control or circle of concern? Control. A lot of people are saying control. Does it? Can we see the answer? Yes. My reactions, attitudes, and emotional regulation. So that means whatever happens with me is under my control. Yes? Let's move on to the next slide. How others think about me or interpret my actions. It could mean that my performance, my appreciation at work, how my colleagues think about me, how my family thinks about me, any of that. Concern? Yes, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Thank you for sharing that, everybody. It does come under circle of concern because other people thinking what they do, we don't have any control over it. That's how others people's prerogatives and perspectives are. Okay, let's move on to the next statement. How I communicate, clarity, tone, how I follow up, boundaries. Control or concern? I'll later tell you why this is important to understand for this session, especially for letting go. A lot of people are saying control. Can we see the answer in the screen? Next slide. Definitely control because it's important to understand anything associated with me. Control. Okay, next. Company decisions, promotions, policy changes, restructuring. What do you think? Control or concern? Concern. Yes, absolutely correct. That definitely comes under circle of concern. Can you see the next slide? Skills I choose to build and how I prepare for tasks. Control or concern? Okay, okay. Yes. Perfect. Definitely, that's control because you choose what you learn. You choose how much you prepare. That's on you. Yes? Perfect. Moving on. Past mistakes, past conversations, and future unknowns. Control or concern? Okay, many people answering correctly. Definitely control because a lot of times we think that whatever in the past has happened, maybe it's my mistake or I blame myself, but it's already in the past. We don't know these things. We cannot control it right now in the present moment. Anything that I do will not make an impact to these things, right? So definitely it comes under concern, right? Absolutely correct. So whoever said concern, kudos to them. Whoever said control, understandably so, may hota hai. It can be either both of way. Okay. Now next statement. All right. So that leads us to the end of the activity. We have already identified. So I know that you have understood the concept really well, right? Now that means that why this topic is important and why circle of control and concern is important is if you're worried about a presentation, that's partly concern, right? And partly control, so that influences. Now, when you separate these things out, the concern usually becomes less stressful because it's just concern, and control becomes actionable because you can do something about it. Now, if you want to understand and apply this logic to art of letting go, it means whatever things which is not under your control circle can be just let go of, can be just dropped, because anyway we can just give that explanation to ourselves that it's really not under my control, so I cannot focus on it, or it will just be those empty tabs on our screen that we cannot shut off from. So important to identify the difference and then shut off those unimportant tabs, the number one thing on first thing, right? Now, the reason for and the connection between performance and letting go is very, very important, because definitely if you hold a lot of things, especially tell me, like giving you a little example, if you try to hold a lot of sand in your hand, what is going to happen? Can anybody tell me? Will you be able to hold a lot of sand in your hand together like this? Will you be able to hold it? Or will it slip out of your hand? Slip. Yes, definitely. Because obviously you will not be able to hold it. Similarly, if you're trying to hold and multitask with a lot of things while you're also thinking about so many like open tabs, it will obviously affect you. So it's important to understand the difference and understand that letting go does not equal ignoring the problem. It means that we are letting go and releasing the mental grip on whatever drains your energy. Okay, and definitely it's a skill and not a personality trait. That means a lot of times we think that okay, maybe letting go means that I'm a failure or I'm this or that. We are labeling ourselves. You're not going to do any benefit out of it, right? So important, because this will lead to a lot of reducing in the burnout that you're feeling. You will be even better at collaboration. You will resolve the conflicts quickly. There is definitely a better and improved decision making, healthier boundaries. Imagine saying no. I am very sure. Okay, so can anybody tell me who all here do have difficulty in saying no? How many of us? On a daily basis. Yes? So many people. So many people. Yes, definitely. People raising hands, sharing in the chat box. I agree. Me too. So many times we are not able to say no, and we take a lot of work on ourselves and we feel, oh my God, I'm overloaded now. So, first, we have to understand that letting go also means setting strict boundaries for ourselves, putting and saying easy, putting easy systems in place. So, all of this is important. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to learn a couple of, if we go to the next slide, we are going to have the three barriers to letting go. Okay, so now we have understood what is the problem. Now there are three barriers of what we will face, right? The number one is control illusion. Okay, what does that mean? Believing everything is your responsibility. That means that a lot of times we feel that and we take the pressure on ourselves to always be in control of all the situations around us. Is that possible? What do you think? Is that possible to be in control of all the situations around us all the time? Definitely no. Because what happens is if you are always constantly having that kind of intention of passing in, doing everything perfectly well, all that, blah, 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 we'll only set ourselves to failure. We're not going to be able to do that. So the better thing to do right now is to let go of that in the name of the topic. Next is fear of judgment. What will people think? Yeah, obviously, we will have that thought okay, if I'm not doing this perfectly, people will think I'm this, I'm that. But tell me, will people thinking about us is something which is in our control or not? There's a very nice song here which was there in the Bollywood movie. Tell me, have you heard it? कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे लोगों का काम है कहना. So always keep that as a motto for yourself and move ahead, because either you do something or not, people are always going to talk. But if you take that as a barrier for not letting go of things which are bothering you and affecting you, it is not healthier. So let's understand the difference and move forward. Then there is identity attachment, tying self worth to output of affection. So many times do we tie our self worth to work, to money, to so many things. And that's only human for us to do, because a lot of times we feel that we have to attach our self worth, the way we think, our confidence, our in like the way that we are thinking about ourselves and feelings about ourselves to a certain particular thing. It can also be something as simple as being a good mother or being a good father or being a good sister, brother, anything. Good daughter, good son. That means that if I don't do this well, I am not a good son. I'm not a good human being, let that be. So, we have to understand the difference. These are the three barriers of letting go. To understand this in more detail, can we jump on to the next slide? Now, remember that one thing in the previous activity I told you that you have to identify these three things that you have to let go of. Now, what I want to do is I want you to now write. Do you have a piece of paper? If not, I'll give you like 1 minute to get the piece of paper and a pen with yourself. Just have a simple piece of paper and a pen with yourself. I'll give you 1 minute. Okay, perfect. Now, I want you to write down all the three things that you feel in detail. So I think let me just go back to the chats, and maybe I will not read out your name, don't worry. I will just read out a couple of things that many of us said and shared with us, right? So it can be overthinking, maybe self-doubts, not visible enough means not perfect, all these thoughts that are bothering you. in a piece of paper, okay? And write it in detail. Write in very detail. Think about that exact situation where you might have felt that way, that exact example. Write it down in a piece of paper, okay? Write down what were you feeling, what were your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, everything. How did that make you feel, right? Maybe somebody said something to you. Maybe it was somebody who was, uh, okay, if you don't remember, maybe it can be anything that you feel that is weighing you down right now. What is the couple of things, at least three things that are making you or weighing you down right now? It can be overthinking habits. It can be worrying about other people too much, not giving enough time for self-care, anything. A few things which you think are weighing you down right now. Okay? Think about it. And when you're done writing, just put in a done in the chat box. So I know that you're done writing. Would anybody like to share what they wrote? If not, up to you. Totally up to you. This is something personal reflection based, right? So it's okay if you don't want to share as well. Based up to you. Okay? I'll give 1 more minute for you to write. When you're thinking about it, just close your eyes. Comfortably imagine. Let the feelings come to you. Imagine what's happening in your mind, the way it might have, that one example might have made you feel overthinking, work pressure. So, no self care. Yeah. What kind of work pressure? I even forgot what I was doing. Yeah. The tabs are open. So, it's keeping our mind in a way that I'm backlogging in my thoughts also, right? From Monday to Friday. Absolutely. It can feel so draining and so taxing. Just put it down in the piece of paper, how you feel, right? What is this whole thing making you feel? One thing that is making you feel as if you're not doing enough. Maybe you have to pay a little bit more attention. Write it down. And once done, let's go to the next slide. Once you're done writing, I want you to crush that piece of paper. Crush it down in a very small ball or whatever. Just crush it down. Okay. All right. So some of the habits here can be digital addiction, paying too much time on other things which are not required, constantly putting that pressure on me to be perfect, right? Or always having that feeling of being on all the time. That means constantly being okay at work, constantly putting others first instead of me. Now crush that paper real hard, crush it, and if there is a dustbin around you, throw it in that. And once done, how do you feel? Did it feel as if when you were writing it down, it felt as if, you're just putting down everything in the piece of paper? Yes, like a first step towards something better. Perfect. We don't need to always be there as well. It's okay to take a first step. Feeling a bit relaxed, yes, because what happens is what you actually did is a body, especially if you remember as a child, we were always told, beta lik ke padhai karo, keep writing so that you remember, right? The reason is the minute there is your hand is writing it down on a piece of paper, there's a hand-eye coordination and you're actually putting it out externally. So it's out of your system. And once you are doing it, it's symbolically crushing that paper and throwing it away means you have kept it out of your system. It's done. It's over. Yeah. So these thoughts are done. Now you keep doing this activity. Whenever you feel like you have a lot to keep up with, especially things which are not on top priority, can be written on a piece of paper and symbolically thrown away in the dustbin. That means it's done. It's over, right? That's very, very important. Okay. And whenever you feel this, just ask yourself one question. If you have any doubts about if this is it in my control? We just talked about this. If it's not in your control, Releasing it just gets easier because literally there is nothing you can do about it. Okay. Will this matter in 6 months? The second question is, will this matter in 6 months? This is one powerful because it puts things in perspective. Example is someone gave you a critical feedback in the meeting. It hurt. You're replaying it in your head. But question is it in your control? You can control what you do with the feedback. You can control that you already got it. Will it matter in 6 months? Probably not. Unless you completely ignore the feedback, it will have become a forgotten moment, right? So, taking and inculcating whatever is important to make you and upskill you, but at the same time, not taking it personally on you, right? So, you can let it go. Maybe you made a typo in an email and you sent it to your boss. Is it in your control? No. The email is sent. A lot of times people have a tendency of saying love you on call, right? So okay, I love you, thanks, okay, bye. And we have done that to the client, and somebody, I think when I was reading somewhere, a boss immediately wrote back, it's okay, I understand. So people will understand. Just to keep thinking about that one thing and making it at a point, where you will get scared of it and it is affecting your emotions and thought process, that's problematic. So letting go of these things can become important. Now, uh, let's go to the next slide. We'll do another short activity. Now that you have identified and written in the piece of paper, I want you to now make a statement for myself, like for yourself, not me. For yourself, I release XYZ and I recommit to XYZ. For example, I release stress and I recommit to positivity and growth. Simple example. So, what is that one statement that it can apply to you after you have done this activity, of course? What is that one statement, one new intention or mindset to recommit to? Because we are at the end of the year. It's again a new start for us, a beginning of a new year with a new mindset, new thought process. So, what is that one intention, a mindset to recommit to? Can you please put it in the chat box for me? For me, it is I release stress and negativity. I embrace and I recommit to positivity and growth. What would it be for you? Can anybody tell me in the chat box? All you have to do is, and even if you don't want to do it and you don't want to share, you feel that it's personal, it's fine. It's totally fine. You can just keep it to yourself. Okay, perfect. Thank you for sharing that. Self-doubt to self-assurance. Wow. Okay, everybody claps for this. Okay, even I'll put a reaction out. Claps because beautifully said. Self-doubt to self-assurance. I release procrastination and I recommit to growth. Perfect. Procrastination, what a big problem it is for everybody, even for me. I still till date I procrastinate. I release what other people think about me and recommit to be myself. Perfect. Beautiful. Paste this out for yourselves. Maybe write it down and make it a motto outside, like aside your bed or something like that. Just stick it so you see this goal every day. Right? I release stress and recommit to joining gym again. So there's one very funny video on Instagram where the 1st January, everybody's in the gym. The gym is packed. Everybody's doing push-ups, crunches, lunges, hit proper hardcore gymming, and then when it comes to February, March, the gym is empty again. So yeah, let's not make it a myth again, Ankit, and we'll have to try to do it and we'll practice it every day. Yes, we will make sure that we are following it throughout. So maybe just do it a 20-day, 21-day habit tracker sort of a thing, wherein if you want to make a particular thing a habit, do it continuously for 21 days. Okay, so to do this, you have to follow it for 21 days, then it becomes a habit, so you practice it every day. All of you, whoever has committed here, everything, good job, perfect. Let's put some claps for everybody because everybody has done a very good job. Yeah, all right. Now somebody said I release the stress of keeping everyone happy and recommit to focusing on myself. Perfect, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Resham. All right, now let's move on to the next slide. Okay, I have now prepared a quick toolkit for you. This is called the Let Go Playbook. Okay, this consists of a couple of things which are very good for us, and having a small toolkit with us is very important. So just like first example, just like we did with the piece of paper, if you ever want to do something like this, symbolically for you, maybe write a chit in a balloon, like of course blow the balloon, fill it up, and just let it go in the air, right? Symbolically release these things. A body is also dramatic like us. So you have to give it drama and write these things in a piece of paper, in a balloon, let it go symbolically so you feel it too. The next thing is called as a 60-second reset. That means breathing. Sometimes you, in the middle of the day, when you're having 500 different things going on and on, those tabs are open in the mind. Give a 60-minute reset to yourself. Sit with you, do a short breathing exercise, meaning 4-second inhale, 2-second hold, and 6-second exhale. So breathe deeply through your nose for 4 seconds. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it for 2, 1, 2, and then release it for 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And you have to release it through your mouth. So whenever you want to do something like this, whenever you feel that you're burnt out, now it's getting too much and you have to let go of things, breathe as heavily as you can through your mouth. So like a very tough, like very nice, strong blow. That means you're letting go of those emotions, and think in your mind to yourself that, okay, whatever, when I'm exhaling, I'm letting go of all the stress and worry right now. Okay. Then the 2-question filter. I just told you what to do. Is this in my control? Will this matter in the next 6 months? Ask yourself these questions always for the task that you think that you're worrying or overthinking, especially about too many things. Many people told me overthinking. So do definitely try. Weekly unsubscribe ritual. A lot of times we subscribe to a lot of things which we don't have to or want to. So, like people pleasing, overthinking, urgency guilt, perfection loops, self comparisons. So, you have to every week self reflect, understand, and every Friday unsubscribe from these particular things. So, can anybody tell me what is the one thing that they will this time, this Friday, unsubscribe from your ritual? Can anybody tell me? Let's start it with this Friday. One thing that you want to mentally unsubscribe. You can share it in the chat box. Yeah. And then there is a let go scripts for work communication. It means I trust your judgment. You take it forward. Delegate the task. This doesn't have to be perfect to be valuable. Okay. Okay, somebody saying people pleasing, definitely unsubscribe to it. Uh, Definitely taking mental overload of other things like overthinking. Yeah, perfect. I was about to say overthinking. Yes, self doubt. So this week I'm trying to unsubscribe to overthinking, self doubt. Okay, great. Right? Now, out of all these things and tools, what is the one thing that you really resonated with? Anybody in the chat box can share with me what is the one thing that you will really try out to do, or something that you may have been trying out and but did not know the name of it or something like that. So share it with me in the chat box. Let's move to the next slide. Overthinking, 2-question filter. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Let's please jump into the next slide. Okay, now another thing, to be kind to ourselves, right? We keep worrying about things which are not okay, wrong. We have that as human beings. Thank you for sharing that, everybody, by the way, to close that previous loop. Now, like I was saying, that sometimes what happens is we are not grateful enough for things which are actually going well for ourselves, and we only focus on the negatives, which becomes a pattern in us. So to avoid and not do that, we have a exercise which we called as the gratitude exercise. So the first thing in the morning when you wake up or before you sleep or go to bed, just write down 3 things that you are grateful for. Okay, and we started with it today. Okay, I'm going to make you practice this. List down the 3 things which you think are that you're grateful for in this year. Okay, I'll start. I'm really grateful for the kind of work that I'm doing. I'm able to connect with so many of you on daily basis. I'm able to connect with so many people, hear opinions, thoughts, right? So that's good. I'm grateful for I have been traveling the way that I was able to travel this year. And I'm grateful, really, really grateful for the health of my family and myself. So these are the 3 things. What about you? Can you all share what are the 3 things that you're grateful for this year? Okay. Got a new friend who is very kind and pampering like a child. Oh, so cute. Okay. Does that mean like a pet or actually a friend? Is that a pet friend or a human friend? Anybody else who would like to share? Human. Oh, so cute. All right. Anybody else? Connecting with new people and learning from them? Definitely. Anything else? Anybody else? Okay. While you answer, can we go to the next slide? What are the 3 things you are grateful at work? You can just list down maybe some words. Colleagues, good work. I upskilled myself at a couple of things at work. Anything. Even a simple thing like I have this year managed time better. New learnings, yes. Growth, professional growth. Yeah. Things which were really worked out for you this year. New learnings. Anything else? Colleagues, of course, yes. Connecting with new people. Anybody else? And what about the next slide? How does it make you feel? While you share this, does it make you feel good that you have actually, in fact, in turn, gotten to do a lot of things? Like we keep saying, oh, this year was not good or this year was not great enough. But we keep forgetting that good things happen too, right? So important to remind ourselves about these things. Makes me so happy. So cute. Thank you for sharing that, Chetra. Definitely, right? It makes you happy to know, okay, this year summed up to be good enough, right? At least we had these opportunities and things. So now moving on. Yeah. So as I was saying, we are grateful for this. And yes, I am also feeling very good that this session went well. How sweet. Thank you for sharing that, Deepa. And yes, and now since we have come to the end of the session, I hope you all took a lot of key takeaways with you. You understood how you felt and how letting go feels like and how to let go of things when you have to, right? So please fill the feedback form, the way that you liked the session, the way that you felt about it through and through. And yeah, how would you rate us? Please share the feedback, and this way we'll be able to understand what we can do better. And yeah,
So, thank you everyone for joining today's session and gifting yourselves this hour of reflection and renewal. And a heartfelt thank you to our wonderful speaker, Sakshi ma'am, for bringing such warmth, energy, and clarity to the session. Today's session was beyond what we all have expected. And the fun that we all had, the engagement that went on in today's session was phenomenal. The lively engagement approach made every insight feel relatable and every activity truly meaningful, something that we can all carry forward into our daily lives. And as we close, remember letting go isn't about losing, it's about choosing. Choosing lightness over load, intention over impulse, and well being over worry. May today's learnings help you step into the coming days calmer, clearer, and more connected with yourself. Wishing you a peaceful and mindful weekend. Until next time, keep letting go and keep choosing you. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Take care, everyone. Thank you so much.
thank you so much, Nisha. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being such a lovely audience. Thank you so much.